You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Outspoken Network. This is Sportscast Edition, episode 199, Wing It Edition. We're going to cover all the major sports. We'll be all around the horn today. We got your co-host here, Craig, as well. Craig, how's it going, buddy?
Howdy, sir.
All right, like I said, we're going to cover all the sports. We got some MLB news. We got some NBA playoffs. We have some NFL, very interesting NFL news today as well, and some NBA, did I say NBA or NHL playoff action as well? Right after this, guys. All right, guys, welcome back. It's the Outspoken Network here, episode 199 here. We're closing in on 200. So pop the champagne next week or whatever. We're going to cover all your major sports today. We've got news all around the horn. We've got some interesting news in the NFL. We got your NBA as well, playoffs. NHL has started as well, Craig. I know you're excited for that Stars game tonight, which I'm excited as well for that. We'll get into all that coming up. Let's start with the Major League Baseball. As I'm excited that it's back, but it's a long season. So I saw that interestingly today, though, Cubs, I think it's Drew Smiley, it's a perfect game. Did you see how that ended?
Yeah.
Oh.
Running into the catcher.
A perfect game ended because a broken bat little dribbler and the catcher and pitcher run into each other and no one can make a throw to first. And that's how the perfect game could have been the perfect game first of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And it ended that way. Cubs get the big win, but what a horrible way to lose a perfect game. And they just kind of laid there on the ground like, are you kidding me? Like, really, did this just happen? It's pretty funny. Max Scherzer gets suspended 10 games after an illegal substance violation. But my point it's not an illegal substance. It's the rosin that they're allowed to use. He just, I guess, used too much of it, which made a sticky substance.
Was it?
That's what they're saying. And I'm like, how is something?
That's what he's saying.
How is something that that Major League Baseball has allowed them to use rosin? How are they using too much of it? Like, is there not I know there's a rosin bag, but I don't understand how you can use too much to get penalized for a substance that the Major League Baseball allows.
That's why it doesn't make sense to me. Here's my problem with it. This has happened 3 or 4 times since this rule of checking the pitchers has come into play. Do you know who has done it every time?
Who?
The same umpire, Phil Cuzzy.
The same umpire?
The same umpire.
Has ejected everybody?
Has submitted all of the penalties. So you might want to look into that. As much as I would love to think Scherzer's over here, doing something illegal or whatever. I like it. I'm a Giants fan. Mets are in town this weekend, and we don't have to face Verlander or Scherzer because Verlander's on the shelf hurt and Scherzer's suspended. Yahtzee.
Right. Right.
So
you dodge those bullets.
Yeah, dodge two stud bullets right out of the get-go. But yeah, I don't know how you measure that, especially after the game has started, and you had a deal last week where a pitcher comes out for the Yankees, and you could see when the umpire's conferring with him, the umpire's like, "You have to go clean your hands off." He comes back out the next inning. He's like, "I told you that you have to clean your hands off." Like, you could read his lips. The other manager gets ejected because he's losing his mind because here this guy is clearly has something on his hand. Clearly. Like, the umpire's like, "Yeah, I see it. I got it, but I told him to clean his hands. I told him to clean them again." Like, no, he should have been ejected. Like, not we're going to warn you because you're a Yankee and you're having a great game. Well, maybe he's having a great game because he's over here throwing cutters that are snapping because of whatever Vaseline he's got on his hand over here. And
it just didn't add up. Like, if the stuff that Major League Baseball is going to allow you to use to pitch the ball, how can you use too much of it? And
if it's a rosin, whether it's lots of rosin or a little, it's rosin. Like, compared you that's what guys have used for years. Rosin compared with sweat.
They grab the bag, they handle it, pop it down, and let's go.
And sweat, and it makes it tacky, and it deal. It's the same thing for years. You've got to get all the Players Association has ever wanted. If you want to do this, we'll side with it. But all we want is consistency. We want it to be consistent. The letter of the law to be consistent. And since they've done these checks, they're not consistent. To the point where Sergio Romo was over here in Texas taking his pants down and showing the umpire, what else do you want to check? Because
do I need to bend over? Like, you get your rubber glove out? What do we?
It's ridiculously. It's and all it was doing, is because the batting averages were going so low that Major League Baseball is like, we got to do something to get some runs scored here. So let's try to in the middle of the season, we're going to take this away. So
what's even more interesting is Max Scherzer is not going to protest.
Yeah, he is. He said he was originally, unless he backed off it.
I heard. Look into that because I heard that he wasn't.
Because yesterday when the news came out, they said that it came out 10-game suspension and Scherzer was going to protest.
Let me look it up. I heard he wasn't. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing anything on it. Maybe he hasn't done it yet. Anywho, I'm just saying, if you have, and then that's what we talked about before is with the sticky substance situation, the Major League Baseball is going to have to come up with a substance that they allow every pitcher to use, and it has to be the same thing, which they did with rosin. So I don't know how you can sit here and tell me that now rosin, too much of rosin is giving them too much of an advantage. It just didn't make any sense to me. So I thought it was pretty interesting when he got suspended and kicked out of the game. So we'll see. I figured it'd be something that he would. But I heard a 105.3, I forget who said it, said that he wasn't going to fight it. I'm not sure. Another question I got, how does the Vegas Athletics sound?
Yeah.
As the Oakland Athletics are more than likely going to move to Vegas. And this all comes down to not being able to get a stadium in Oakland. The Oakland stadium that they have has been old. We've all known this. It's basically the Washington Commanders stadium of football.
You got sewage running, you got leaks, you got,
needs to be renovated.
Yeah, and they can't get any fan. They have minor league teams that are drawing more than Oakland right now, and it's sad because that's a big baseball area. California's big. The A's have had they haven't been great, but I mean they made the playoffs.
They've had years where you wouldn't expect them to do nothing. They win 100 games.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Win nobodies. So
yeah,
they're kind of like Tampa Bay without the success.
without the consistency.
Yes.
They have random success, whereas Tampa Bay does a lot with nothing all every year.
Which I wish I knew how they did it, but
So do I.
I think this will be a great move for them. Kind of a fresh start. When Oakland left and went to Vegas, I didn't like that. Oakland
Well, they
fan
kinda
base
up in the middle of the night and abandoned the fan base after just coming back to. They had moved to Los Angeles, then they moved back, and they moved here.
I felt bad. I felt bad for them. That to
Yeah.
me was kind of like, man, I feel really. If I'm an Oakland Raider fan, I'm probably switching teams. Like, you did me dirty. This seems like not a rebrand, but it just seems like a new start.
Yeah.
And I like the move. Honestly, they're going to build them a $1 billion stadium, and I don't see no reason why the Athletics should stay there in the Cali.
Yeah,
You got too many teams there as it is.
They're going to be there for the next couple of years while the stadium is being built. But
Yeah.
unless they can somehow use the Vegas Raiders stadium for a baseball stadium for a little while. I don't know.
Yeah.
When the move is official, but
yeah, and you just hoping to get more fan bases there.
Yeah.
You've got too many teams in California, sports teams in general, but baseball teams as well. And I'm interested. And you're competing with the Dodgers, and you're competing with the Giants, and you're competing with the Angels.
Shohei and Trout.
Who just marquee names, not successful of a team, but here's the Oakland Rangers, the Oakland Athletics, trying to play bargain baseball against these guys that got a lot of money, and you're hoping the move inspires this team to get more fans, but also bring in more money and spend more money on baseball players. So we've all seen. I don't know if we've all seen it, but Moneyball is a pretty good movie. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. But it's a bargain baseball. All right, guys, well, that's your baseball here. Just some interesting notes that happened during the week. Let's jump into a little bit of NBA playoffs. All right, got your NBA playoffs and NBA news. Let's do the NBA news real quick. Nick Nurse is fired from Toronto. He wins you a championship in 2019. You tear his team apart and you fire him. What? I'm stunned. This Nick Nurse was the next big thing after he won in Toronto, coming up there, and he was next. He was the next big talk. Oh, where is he going? Is he going to LA? Is he going here? Is he going to the Knicks? Who is he going to go coach next? And he stays there in Toronto, and then they let his team go, and they just, all right, it's time to move on. I'm a little shocked. I'm a little shocked on this one, Craig. I don't know how you felt about it.
Yeah, turns down a premier job to stay and be loyal to your organization, wins you a title, you dismember his team, and then blame him and make him the scapegoat for the dismembering. And even last year with the dismembered team, he made the playoffs and won more games. I think he won over 50 games last year, and they're like, this guy is amazing. And basically was kind of 500 this year, and at 41-41 or whatever his record was, and they throw him out the door. So he wasn't terrible. He wasn't like horrendous.
Yeah.
And they
don't have the
personnel
for it.
Absolutely not. So Detroit's going to call, Houston's going to call. I think probably Houston is where he ends up.
That's terrible.
See what he can do there. But
come on, Dallas. I'll take him. Get rid of Jason Kidd. Come on, Nick Nurse. I'll take
That
it.
would be great, but I don't know if Cuban. I think Cuban's
Yeah.
loyal to Kid for whatever reason, or else I think he would have already been gone. But yeah, he's going to catch on somewhere. He's going to win basketball games,
Yeah.
and Toronto will probably be in a torrential rebuild for several years and run through 4 or 5 coaches before they ever get the success that Nick Nurse gave them. So
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I used to think that winning a championship means you
should
get
buy
long.
you how many every years you want.
It should buy you at least 10 years.
Yeah.
McCarthy got 10 years in Green Bay, right? I just the Eagles are another one when they won it with Doug Peterson. How fast did that team dismantle?
Yeah.
A coaching
the
staff.
next year,
Like,
I don't even think they made the playoffs next year.
What? It's insane. So
Carson Wentz has never been the same.
Yeah, it's just. I guess not. I guess that doesn't really mean anything to Toronto. I don't know.
No, yeah. Thanks for
flabbergasted.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And the NBA playoffs are happening right now, but the more of the talk is what's going on with these personal fouls, ejections. You've got Harden gets ejected after a horrible push-off call. Like you saw that call. He gives a guy a little elbow push-off. Okay, offensive foul, but you eject him. But you don't eject Joel Embiid for intentionally trying to kick someone in the nuts as he's getting stepped over. What?
And I think that's
going on?
I think that's why Harden got ejected, because they said that his was low to the groin area with the deal, and said, well, Embiid did it. We're going to get a hold of the game right now before it gets out of hand. You guys want to go hit people in the groin. We're not going to do that. So we're going to make a statement right here and eject Harden. So Harden got the short straw because of Embiid, I believe. That's the only thing I can see it for.
Yeah, because Embiid's was intentional. I'm going to intentionally kick you right in the nuts, and you missed. James Harden's was a basketball play.
Harden's always that way. If you watch Harden, he does the Euro step. He's like a bull in a china shop. Yeah. He runs people over, just running into people. Crash Bandicoot over here trying to run people over, and he gets away with it 90% of the time. Well, now he's not getting away with it for whatever reason. It's again the word consistency. They're not consistent. Nobody knows what a foul is. Nobody knows what a flagrant is. Nobody knows what an ejection is. Like, at any point in time, anybody could just be thrown out, and we're just.
And I'm telling you, I'm not saying I agree with Joel Embiid's decision, but the step over is probably the most disrespectful move in basketball. So you're gonna step over me, yeah, I'm probably tripping you, or I'm getting up and we're fighting. Like, that's probably the most disrespectful move you could do in basketball. And Allen Iverson pulled that off on what's his face? What's that head coach? Oh, he used to play basketball, but nasty step over. Drained a three and stepped over him. Just disgusting. But yeah, it's like, what are we doing, refs? He clearly is like, all right, I'm just gonna kick the crap out of you, and nothing. I don't know. It's just stupid. And it's right. It's just inconsistent refs. And that's in all leagues, but I don't know. You think when it comes to that kind of thing, the black and white, more of a personal foul call.
It's the same thing that happened in the NHL.
Should be pretty easy. All right, let's get into the playoffs here. Bucks and Heat are both tied at 1 now. Giannis is still hurt, right? He hurt his back.
As I know, he took a charge and bruised his back. He's day to day. He'll probably try to warm up tonight and see if he can go. But
the back is the one you worry about the most.
Yeah, because you can't. You don't know what movement is going to cause it to wrench up, and once it does, he's done for the game, because there's not anything they can do in a quick manner to make it loosen up.
Not at all, and so without the big man, I think this team is vulnerable. Obviously, the Heat this season has had a disappointing season. The Heat's usually up there in the top 3, at least top 5. They finished in the 8th seed this year. Kind of had an off year from Jimmy Butler. If the big men ain't playing and they start playing like the Heat that we think they could be, I think they can make this a series. I still got the Bucks winning this one.
And keep in mind, Tyler Hero is out though. He broke a
hand, right?
Hand or finger or whatever. So he's out for the rest of the playoffs. It's gonna have to be the Jimmy Bucket show, or Miami has no chance.
Yeah.
If Jimmy doesn't put him on his shoulder, even without the Greek Freak,
it's gonna be difficult.
It'll be difficult. Jimmy he had a good night the other night. They won. He had a bad first game. They lost.
Yeah.
And Anthony DeCumpo is not. It's a mute point if Jimmy Butler's not 40. If Jimmy Butler's got 40, then you need him to come in and offset that, and you still might win, even if he has 40. But if Jimmy has 40 and there's no Anthony DeCumpo, then you're not gonna.
How'd you say his last name?
Anthony DeCumpo.
I don't know if that's even right, but I just call him Giannis.
It is
because I can't even try. I'm like into the Greek Freak is whatever.
Freak.
You know what I'm talking about. All right, Celtics take a 2-0 lead over the Hawks. This is probably a 4-1 series, maybe a sweep. The Hawks, there's talks. We talked about it on the solo edition I did last week, I believe.
There's no talks. That kid is gone.
That they want to trade him.
Yeah, he's gone.
Trae Young.
He will be moved in the offseason.
Do you think that's Do you think that's him wanting out secretly, or you think that's the team?
I think it is him and the head coach bashing heads, and they said we're going to decide who we're going to keep, and I think it's the head coach, and that's sad, but I like it for Trae that he can go have a head start and take his talents elsewhere because they're not going to build a team around him in Atlanta. So the kid. Now I don't know. I don't know the Trae Young attitude. I don't follow Trae Young's every move. So it may be his attitude. If he goes to the next stop and has problems with the head coach and has problems there, then we know that it wasn't Atlanta.
He kind of reminds me of. And I think I think we've heard backstories of his attitude or work ethic. He reminds me of he's the Kyle Murray of the NBA.
Yeah, I didn't like him coming out of college. I didn't like him to be a top where he was drafted. Didn't want Dallas to draft him. Didn't think that was a good fit. He's played better than I expected him to play. I will give him that.
Yeah, he has those games.
I thought he was just all or nothing long 3-pointers, and that was his deal. He has been better assist-wise, defensive-wise. He's been better than I would have pegged him for, whether I gave him credit for. What I saw coming into the draft, he's been better than what I had pinned him as. But I still think he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, he's interesting because he's better than I thought he would be coming out too as well in the NBA. I don't think he's number one. I think he fits well as a good number 2 piece on a team. And I think the Hawks are wanting him to be that number 1. I just don't think he can fill those shoes.
Well, that's what they drafted him. I mean, they drafted him in the top 5. So when you draft a guy 5 or 2 or 3, then he needs to be your 1.
Yeah, I just don't think he can carry that load.
I think he needs to have a Robin or somebody that's better than him to take some of the attention. I think he's a very good 2 guard, not the guy that's responsible for bringing it up.
And
he doesn't have the handles. He doesn't have the vision to see down the court.
I think he needs some good veteran leadership.
Yes.
To kind of mold
tell him when it's time to show up and do what he's doing, or when it's time to just put his nose to the deal. I like you said, work ethic wise, he's not in the gym all the time. He's not a gym rat. He's not Kobe. He's not any of these guys that live in a gym. He just shows up and goes, "I'm here, guys. I'm gonna be good," and tries
on his talent all alone.
Tries to go on his talent all alone, and he's not the leader. So he might have
Kyle Murray.
Skills.
He's not.
Yeah, he might have some skills.
I don't want to lead the team,
leadership, but the leadership part of it, he doesn't have.
All right, we got the 76ers are about to sweep the Nets. That's the series that's getting chippy. We talked about the blows and the horrible injections.
Philadelphia might make the finals.
This could be their year.
They always choke.
Yeah. This could be it. And Embiid's kind of taken on a different warpath this season. There's been those years where he's been, MVP candidate until you get to the last half of the season, and then he kind of drips off, or he gets hurt.
He got hurt in the playoffs last year. He had an injury in the playoffs last year, missed a bunch of time. So that probably derailed their season.
But it's this year. It seems like he's taking it more seriously, or something's clicking. I'm not sure.
I'm just not a big James Harden fan.
This could be me. Yeah, me neither. James Harden. I mean, he's talented at what he does. I don't really like him.
No.
Think he's lazy.
Yes.
But he's one of the best scorers to play.
Wise, you can't argue. But
yeah.
But I still remember there was a team that had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Durant, and they drafted all of them. So I could have coached that group and won something. And how that group never won is baffling to me. The one year they made the finals, they got swept. That's baffling to me.
Well,
when you look at what they all became individually.
I don't think they were there at that point, And then, Kevin Durant.
Talent doesn't just show up years down the road.
Kevin Durant had to join the Warriors to win a ring.
He don't have a championship to me.
Ridiculous. I'm just saying they weren't the stone cold killers they are now. That they just didn't have it at that point.
Durant's not even in the same breath.
Talented,
Kobe and LeBron and Mike.
His ring chasing, and we, you know what? And the people have given this guy a pass too many times. The Nets superstar team was the biggest flop in NBA history.
Yeah, well, I mean, right behind the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh. You have James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, and it didn't last a year.
No.
I mean, they played they played 1 year together, but it fell apart.
They were never together.
It all fell apart. KD runs away to a different team now, the Suns. He jumps to another team that's always been in the playoffs.
They all did.
Championship. I mean, Kyrie kind of went to Dallas, and they're kind of a
no. But I'm just like all three of them got out of neutral. I mean, like he went to he went to the Sixers. Kyrie goes to Dallas. Durant goes to Phoenix. They all left,
and the Nets still made the playoffs.
Yeah, that guy should get Coach of the Year.
Right, Coach of the Year to lose 3 superstars and still make the playoffs. I think he gets too much of a pass. But
they all do.
I can't stand Kevin Durant. I cannot stand that guy. Wherever he goes, I hope he falls on his face.
Yeah.
Now, this next series might be the best series of them all. The Cavs versus the Knicks. They're even right now. These are two pretty even teams. You've got the Cavaliers, who've kind of shocked people who at one point led the East this season. They're a young, talented basketball team. They add Donovan Mitchell over the offseason. They made some good moves, and this is a young, talented basketball team that looks to be there. And the Knicks added people too. What's his name? Brunson from Dallas, who had a really good year for them. And no, I don't miss him in Dallas. Because he wasn't doing what he's doing over there in Dallas.
He kind of did, but
he did when Luka was injured. That's it.
Here's what I want to highlight: the Cleveland owner or GM or whatever, those guys catch a lot of flack for the LeBron, coming and going. Well, every time that team gets dismantled, look at how quick they repair it and build it back.
Yeah.
And when they build it back, it's the real deal. Like, we're gonna go win some games. We're gonna go win and compete, and so if I'm a Cavs fan, I'm not mad at
No.
the owner or the general manager for when LeBron leaves or when Kyrie leaves or whatever. Like, hold on, guys, just give us a year.
Yeah.
We'll fix it, and they do every time. LeBron left, they went down. They go and got draft picks. They built it back up. LeBron's like, hold on, I want to go back. They were good now. And he goes back. They win. They break it down. They hold on. We got it. Right
Yep.
back. They get Mitchell, and now they're the one seed.
And it's funny because they're talking about
and now somebody, LeBron or somebody's going to want to come back to Cleveland.
Well, they're talking about because LeBron wants to play with his son, and what if his son goes to Cleveland? He comes back to Cleveland, and Cleveland is like, we don't need LeBron anymore. We're done with this cycle.
We're done with it, and I hope so. I hope so. I hope that they pass on Bronny just because of that, because it's just we're tired of being used for the name, and because LeBron didn't win that title. Kyrie Irving made the shot over Steph Curry that won that title. He makes the dead, stone cold killer fadeaway, semi Dirk Nowitzki flamingo fadeaway with Steph right in his face. I've never been one for Steph playing defense, but he actually played pretty good defense on that play. And Kyrie drains it nothing but the net, and LeBron gets the credit. That's why
they didn't work out.
The Kyrie wanted out, because he's like, hold up, boss. I made that, and I was completely forgotten about. Like, you just swept me under the rug like I rode your coattails. I'm the one that shot it. That fallout never happens if LeBron goes, well, he's the one that put it through the net. Like, we got us here together, but Kyrie's the one. That's all he had to say, and that fallout never happens, and Cleveland probably wins who knows how many titles.
Yeah. Yep, you ain't lying. But you're exactly right with Cleveland in that they just rebuild it, and they're
rebuild every time.
It's just what they do, and
they send a letter to the fans and all the season ticket holders. Hold on, guys, we'll be right back. They are.
They need to switch places and go run the Browns organization over there.
They sure do.
What they could do,
or send an email over to somebody.
Yeah. Hey, this is how you do it, guys.
This is the template. Here's how you do it. Don't get Deshaun Watson. That's what you do.
Yeah, don't guarantee him $200 million when you haven't seen the guy play in a year.
Don't get the guy that has the massage fetish. Don't pay that guy. We don't have that guy on our roster. See that? That's not. You didn't follow the plan. You didn't follow the template.
All right, Nuggets up 2-0 over the Timberwolves. This is an easy one. Nuggets were gonna sweep this more than likely, unless they just take game 3 off. It's usually game 3 or game 4 they take off, and then when it Lakers and Grizz,
everybody and leave them at the house.
Lakers and Grizz all tied up at 1. There's more trash talk in this one with some guy I don't even know talking trash about LeBron.
Brooks wanting to. Yeah. I wish I could have guarded that Bron back in his heyday. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You can't defend him now, and he's old. Stop.
Yeah, and this is
you know what that's gonna do, right? Oh, LeBron's gonna come out there on a crutch and drop 50 and go, 50. Shut your mouth.
Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah. That's what we get. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
What?
Gangman John Morant hurt his wrist, and I don't know.
I didn't even think he was playing this series. I saw. He's playing now. He's hurt.
Played the first half of the game. Looked like he broke his wrist when he fell, but
probably holding too many guns.
Yeah.
Weaken that wrist up a little bit. And
if you weren't at the club and at the gym, maybe your wrist wouldn't be hurt.
Yeah, it's asinine to me how these guys get so famous and they want to throw it all away to be.
It's
stupid,
and it's the NBA not having the backbone to suspend these guys and make a statement because they need their big stars. They didn't suspend Luka. They rescind his last technical to make sure that he's available for the last few games to try to make the Mavericks make the play-in deal, and then they sit him out. That's why they got fined, by the way. Yeah. I'm going to promise you that. The NBA is like, hold on, Mark. we rescinded his technical and didn't suspend him so you could make the playoffs, and you sit him on the bench. Oh, we're fining you $10 billion now.
Yeah.
That was we did you a favor and you screwed us. That's what happened. Mark just gave the NBA a double bird.
Double bird.
Yeah, double bird. Thanks for not suspending Luka, but here's double birds.
Kings take 2-1 series. They're up 2-1. The Warriors win a must-win third game. I don't think they can come back for 3-0 against the Kings. The Kings has been an interesting team to watch this year and see them how far they can go. I don't think they're winning the championship, but it's interesting to see. Now, this is something we need to talk about. The freaking who's that guy I hate?
Chest stomper Draymond Green.
Yeah, I hate that guy, man. This guy, if he wasn't on the Warriors, no one would know who he was. But just because he played with Steph Curry and won championships,
when he came out of Michigan State.
My gosh, this guy's the most annoying guy ever. He chest stomps on a player the other day. He gets suspended, which he rightfully deserved. But they win the game. They could come back and beat the Kings. I'm never going to count the Warriors out. I hope the Kings take them out. I think I picked the Warriors to win this last week, but
I saw a stat the other day. It was very interesting. This is the first time in his career that Steph Curry's ever been down 0-2.
Oh, interesting.
He's been behind 2 games, but he's never been 0-2.
Yeah. Suns lead the series 2-1 over the Clippers. Now, talking about a big disappointment, I honestly think if the Clippers don't make a deep run in the playoffs this year, I think they blow that up. They got sold a bag of goods with Kawhi Leonard, Mr. Sit Out over there. That's all he does is sit out games. Paul George is a good basketball player, but there's something missing with the Clippers when they have all that talent. They can't put it together. If they don't, they're not going to win the series.
San Antonio has been a completely different individual. I don't know what happened in San Antonio. I've still yet to figure that out. Where he disagreed with the team doctors or whatever, and demands a trade, and they made that guy the face of the franchise. In San Antonio, like when Duncan left, Duncan's like, torch, here you go, and passes the torch, and that guy had everything.
The torch was too heavy.
He had the best coach in the NBA. He had a stacked lineup. He had franchise, like the ownership would give Kawhi whatever he wanted, and he just quit on that team. And I'm baffled by that. And ever since then, his career has been just karma has got him. He screwed San Antonio, and karma has undefeated. And said,
I think with him, he thinks he's better than. I mean, he's really good.
I don't know what, but see, that's not.
I just think he thinks he's better than everybody else.
But that's not the perception, though. He's not that guy. He's quiet. He's reserved. He never talked. Like, he didn't want to be in the media. He didn't want. It was almost like when San Antonio gave him the torch. He was like, "Whoa, no, I don't want." I want to be back here.
I don't want
to
the leadership
play basketball.
role.
No, I just want to play basketball. Like, make this guy go to the press conferences. I just want to play. It was like he just froze and couldn't handle the spotlight.
Maybe that's it.
And in Toronto, he really didn't have to. There was enough guys around that deal, and he was okay. And I think in LA, same thing, because Paul George, same way, he doesn't want the spotlight. Captain Anxiety doesn't want the spotlight. Like, he's melting down in the bubble because he doesn't.
Yeah, that team
out,
melted down, staying at a 5-star resort hotel for get out of here.
So
get out of here.
I don't. There's always something with the Clippers. They want to be the LA team. They want to be above the Lakers, but nobody wants to be the lead guy. And that's exactly where Kawhi, as soon as you gave him the spotlight, it was like he just crippled. It was like spotlight just crippled him.
Yeah. And Anthony Davis is Mr. Street Clothes.
Captain Street Clothes. Love that guy.
Mr. Street Clothes. Well, you got Mr. Sit Out over there in Kawhi Leonard. And I'm telling you, if they don't win, they're not successful here. and they haven't been living up to the expectation of
And
getting their
they're not going to be
superstars.
this year.
They're not going to beat the Suns.
No, they're not
This
beating the
time-
Suns or Utah.
It's time to blow it up. What else are you going to do? But that's just my 2 cents. All right, Craig, let's get into the NHL. All right, the NHL, let's get into it. Now, first of all, we all have to give kudos to the man, Mr. Man of the Week. Morgan Barron gets 75 stitches in his face after taking a goalie skate right to the face. And he comes back less than a period later to continue the game.
K. Johnson, Coach, I'm back in the game.
I'm back in. I can't see because I got blood in my eyeballs, but let's go. That's Man of the Week right there, guys. Insane. I watched the play.
Did you see when it happened? What happened?
Oh yeah, he got pushed on it from above, and
the first person to tend to him,
was
a guy on the other team. Said, "Don't care about playoff hockey. Don't care about hating right now. This dude's bleeding on ice, and he needs some help." And so, kudos to that guy. Shout out to that guy for putting things aside for a minute and making sure we get him off the ice. And unlike the clown over in Minnesota who decapitated and bounced Pavelski's head off the ice and went over to the bench and laughed and high-fived like the goofball he is. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We'll get into that in a second here. I saw the play with the skate right to the face. He basically gets shoved from behind, and he's on that blade for a couple seconds, it seems like. And then you see him get up.
Those things are razor sharp.
Oh, you see him get up, and you just see blood pouring on the ice, and you're like, holy crap. 75 stitches in the face. LeBron would have missed the rest of the season, maybe the season after
Anybody would have.
Insane.
Hockey's a different
Hockey's different.
I've been to several games this year, and we watch it, and we're there, and guys are getting, a laser puck to the leg, and they're just like, oh, that hurt, and they hobble to the bench, and right in the next shift, they're back in there and they're skating again. I'd be on the ground, they'd have to cart me off, and
they show, like, I don't know, and then they show you're like, oh, it wasn't too bad. And then they show the bruise at the end of the game. You're like, holy crap.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
How does that muscle even work anymore? So,
all right, let's go through the playoffs here, Craig. You got Boston versus the Florida Panthers. You have the Bruins won 3-1 the game one. Second game, Panthers came out and scored 6 goals. Whew.
Yeah.
6-3.
And Boston is a kind of an anomaly because more points and more wins than any team in the history of the NHL.
Yeah.
And they're up 1-0 right now at the end of one. That series is tied. That coach for the Florida Panthers said, we're coming in here and we're going to beat them. We're going to break them. We're going to dismantle them. Like a lot of things that shouldn't be said. Just go out there and do it. Don't give them billboard material. But, man, you talk about would be an epic collapse.
Epic.
If the one seed and whoever has the most wins in the history of the NHL doesn't make it out of the first round. That's why I love the NHL. Things like that happen all the time.
Yeah.
Is the guy that made it in at the last day, and they spoil Cinderella's deal. And I love it.
They can win it all.
They could. All you need is a hot goaltender in the month of April, and you are.
Yeah. And that's something about playoff hockey that's so intense. Watching it on the couch.
The Stars rode,
Oof.
their goalie that they traded, away. They rode, Hudobin. They rode him in the bubble right to the Stanley Cup. That guy was unconscious. and they rode him to the Stanley Cup. Colorado did it a couple years ago. Like it's the hot goaltender will keep you in a game.
Yeah. You got the Maple Leafs versus Tampa Bay. This one, Lightning scored 7 in the first game and 1, and then the Leafs scored 7 in the next game. There's no defense in this game, in this series whatsoever.
Like
7 goals.
Yeah, like I talked about going into the playoffs in the hat trick was Toronto is great every year. They get in the playoffs and it's like they just and they melt. Tampa, I don't know what's going on and what's in the water in Tampa, but the Rays and the Lightning are making something out of the band of misfit toys. Like they don't have to have a bunch of payroll. They don't have to have a huge, like they just keep winning. You know, I mean, the Lightning won 2 or 3 Stanley Cups in a row and made the playoffs again last year. They got a hell of a goaltending in Vasilevsky.
The sad part of that is Tampa Bay's baseball team doesn't get the love down there it deserves.
That's the same thing. Like they keep winning and they can't put anybody in the seats. At least the Lightning can get people in the building. But this series, I think it goes 6 games, and I think Toronto wins. But again, you can't ever count Tampa out.
Yeah. You got Carolina versus New York Islanders, and this is a
I think
Hurricanes
Carolina
win both the first 2 games.
I think this could be the shortest. It could be the shortest series. I said that in the podcast earlier that I think if any of the series are going to be real short and wrap up, Carolina had a huge advantage. The Islanders just are a little bit away from being successful. That could be a runaway. 4-1, 4-0. You know that could be a runaway.
Rangers deja vu it with a 5-1 win on both first and second games of the Devils.
I thought this series would be a little bit better. I really did. The Devils were the higher seed. They had home ice. The Rangers go into New Jersey and win both games on the road. This could be another series that again I thought would be better, and the Rangers proved me wrong. I picked the Rangers, but I picked the Rangers in 6 games, and it doesn't look like they're going to need 6.
They're going to You got Colorado and the Kraken. Now I don't know about you, but I love the Kraken name. That is awesome.
Yeah,
I love it. Avalanche. It's tied 1-1 as.
They came out. Seattle came out in game 1 and surprised everybody.
Yep.
And take game 1. They are a wild card. They were the expansion team last year, if you remember. They're the expansion team, and in their second year, they're in the playoffs and they're making some noise. So kudos to that head coach. Kudos to those guys that are playing over there. And I don't think they can beat Colorado, but hey, do me a favor.
7.
My guys
7.
My guys are next. The winner of this series plays them next, and wear them out, beat them up.
Our guys, you forget I'm a Dallas Stars fan.
Yeah, wear them out, beat them up, and because we need everybody to be as hurt and as bruised up as you can get.
Yeah, beat them into the boards.
Take them to everything
all
you got.
Day long.
I'm a definite Kraken fan, so
I just love that mascot. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Stars and Wild. You had a double overtime loss in game 1.
And Dallas did everything but win that game. They hit the post 3 times in overtime. I mean,
My next door neighbor was there. He didn't stay for the whole game. I said, "You're the reason they lost. Good job, buddy."
Yeah. I regretted staying up and watching. And I was like,
you watched the whole thing?
I sure did.
What time it in? Like 2 o'clock?
1 o'clock. And about an hour later, I got up and said, "Hey, Brian, I'm come to work." Showed up and was like, "This is going to be a long day." And I was like, "Wait a minute. I'm not riding with Joseph. What happened? That's not good."
I got to run a route.
This is going to be long. So, but we made it through, and luckily, it was just. They did everything they could. They outshot them 23-4 or 23-6 from the third period. They were in the middle of the third period, Dallas had 10 less shots on goal. It was 34-24, and by the end of the game, they caught them and passed them. That's how many shots on goal they had, not counting the 3 that hit the post, because the greatest anomaly in hockey is when the puck hits the post, it's not a shot on goal, which I'm not understanding why, because it's the definition of the shot that's on the goal, and it doesn't count.
That's weird.
Dallas loses Joe Pavelski game 1. They come out game 2.
Was just stomp them.
And Rupe has a hattie, and well, it got close again. Like, they were up big, and then all of a sudden they got within 1 goal, and Dallas scores 3 in the third period and runs away and hides. And tonight will be very interesting. You go back to Minnesota. Why? I'm very much scratching my head on why Minnesota changed goalies after game 1. They have a rookie goaltender game 1 in his first NHL playoff game, and he saves 55 shots and stands on his head. And all of a sudden in game 2, they're like, hey, the guy that's been in the NHL for 47,000 years, Andre Fleury, why don't you take the goal today? And he gets lit up like a Christmas tree, and they put up a 7 spot. And I'm like, I appreciate that, but if I'm the head coach,
why?
What are you doing? Like, I don't. Did you promise the guy? I don't understand. So, big hoping that Andre Fleury is between the pipes tonight, but
doubtful with 7 up the other night.
I just hope that Dallas shows up and plays the kind of hockey that they played the other night. And listen, they didn't play bad the first game. They played very well the third period. They played very well after. I think personally, and this is going to sound terrible, the Pavelski injury sparked that team.
Yeah.
They did not like that. They went after that guy several times. And since that happened, it was a tale of 2 teams.
That's
very lackadaisical.
That's what my neighbor said too.
They were very lackadaisical. They were very competitive. They were very deal. The second Pavelski got that hit and his head hit the ice, it was like a switch went off. And Dallas was like,
I didn't even see the play where he got hurt.
It's very questionable. The puck goes down into the end. Pavelski takes it. He's in the what they call the trapezoid. He's off to the side of the net, up against the boards. He lets go of the puck, and when he lets go of it, this guy was skating backwards. And when he skates backwards, it looks like, if you go back and look at it, there's a bunch of different angles. They say he didn't leave his feet, but he goes and he raises up and he takes his shoulder and puts it right to the chin of Pavelski. Pavelski loses his balance, comes off the ice. His skates come off the ice. And when he falls, his head is the first thing that hits the ice, and it just bounces off the ice. And he was out. He was out cold. There's no doubt.
Yeah, he's out the whole series.
And then all of a sudden, he starts moving, and you can tell when he stands up, the lights are on, and nobody's home. He had no idea where he's at. He had no idea what was going on. They had to help him off the ice. He didn't even make the trip to Minnesota. Yeah. So
he's gonna miss this whole series. Hopefully, you have him back if they do move on. But this is not his first head injury in San Jose. When he was in San Jose in the playoffs, he's had 2 different ones. So you've got to be extremely cautious. Pavelski's older. They say he can keep playing down the road. I think what he's trying to do is hold on for a cup. He's one of the longest tenured. The Stars have 2 guys on the roster that are the longest tenured guys of not having that, to be in the NHL and not win a cup. And I just hope that he's all right and can come back. Yeah.
For the deal.
All right, you got the Golden Knights versus Winnipeg Jets, and this is split 1-1. You got Jets winning 5-1, and the Knights won 5-2. Who do you see coming away with this one? Probably the Golden Knights. I mean, it would be an upset if Winnipeg won, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, Winnipeg's a good team, but the Golden Knights they've had success every year. Of course,
expansion year. I mean,
the expansion year. The coach that Dallas has right now currently was the guy that had the success. He doesn't make the playoffs for the first time last year, and they fire him, a.k.a. Nick Nurse. I'll take that all day long.
They Nick Nursed him.
And thank you. I appreciate that. And they do that, and we take him and deal, but then they come out and they get a new coach, and they have success, and they're back in the playoffs, and they're right back on the deal. And I'm going to tell you right now that I'm a diehard Dallas Stars fan, but that arena and the way they project stuff onto the ice and the you want to talk about arena you want to be in, go and watch a Las Vegas Golden Knights game. You'll be like, this is amazing.
Yeah. I've never been to a playoff hockey game, but going to
a regular season hockey game on steroids, I want to go.
A regular season game is amazing.
Yeah.
I started watching when I got back into hockey was last year in the playoffs, and I'm watching the hockey playoffs, and I'm on the edge of my seat. You could feel the craziness of the crowd. I mean, it's intense. It's really intense. But you have what's the last series? I just had it. I just closed it out because I figured I remember it. What's the last teams, Craig? The Oilers. Is it the Oilers?
Edmonton.
What's the last?
Winnipeg in the Knights.
That's the last one.
That's the one you were talking about.
No, the last? There's one more series we didn't talk about.
Oh, yes.
And the
Oilers and the Kings.
There you go, the Kings. That's the other one. Well, they're both tied up. You got a lot of these series are tied 1-1.
Well, I think almost. Other than the Carolina series, I picked every single one of them in the hockey hat trick before the field to go 6 or 7. That's how close these matchups are. Edmonton, they got the two best guys in the NHL. Okay, Connor McDavid has 135 points. Basically, Wayne Gretzky is the only person that ever put more points in an NHL season up. And to be honest with you, and his counterpart, in Edmonton has 117 points or 120 points. So, like, they have the two best guys on the ice. They should walk through this series, but the Kings are younger and still a year or two away. But hey, man, if you're going to come in here and give them a game, give them a game. I don't want to see Edmonton. I'll tell you that. I don't want to see Edmonton or Boston if I'm a Stars fan.
Anybody else?
So if anybody can beat those two teams, let's do it. But we'll see.
All right, guys, that's your NHL playoffs. We got some interesting NFL news today. More stupidity from NFL players not learning the lesson of Calvin Ridley last year, or the season before, I guess. But 4 Detroit Lions, including their 2020 first-round pick, were suspended for gambling on football games. Quintez Cephas, wide receiver, safety, C.J. Moore, were suspended indefinitely for betting on NFL games. Now, their second-year wide receiver in Williams and Barry Hill were suspended 6 games for betting. It was only 6 because they bet on college football games, not NFL football games. Stupid. What are we doing? You cannot bet on games. You cannot bet, period. There's writers who work for the NFL.com cannot bet on games. Like, that's how strict it is. These people that have any kind of influence on NFL or NFL media or that, you can't do it. And you think they would have learned from Calvin Ridley's year suspension, but they didn't. And right now, the Lions wide receiver crews all suspended. And I just keep playing that. To me, the GIF of their season next year is going to say, "Oh no, we suck again," because, the
NFL has a problem.
Gut punch.
Okay, this was never a problem. All of a sudden, they start adding gambling
right in the stadium.
Right in the stadium. And all of a sudden, the guy from Atlanta gets suspended. Let's not forget that Miles Austin gets suspended for who knew he was a wide receivers coach for the Jets? Nobody until he got suspended. But he gets suspended. Now all these guys get suspended. The NFL's got to get a hold on this, and they got to get a hold on it fast because it has spread like wildfire. I mean, this is 5 guys and a coach in the last 18 months that you've had to suspend for gambling. And that's the guys we've caught, okay?
Yeah.
That's not the guys that are out here doing it under the table and having their wives do it or their girlfriends do it or their bookie do it or whatever that haven't been caught yet. Because I'm telling you right now, there's more to come.
I don't see how you can add this into the stadium.
You're bringing they're the sponsors. They're DraftKings is the sponsor of Jerry Jones. Is half the stadium is the DraftKings.
And that's like
they're getting naming rights to the stadium.
That's like advertising for steroids.
Yeah,
we're the number one steroid selling. Blah blah blah, and then your players steroids.
You guys don't do it.
Yeah.
And
it's crossing that fine line.
100%. The NFL wants the money. We want the money.
And they
but
talk
we don't
about
want you guys to do it.
And they talk about, and we've known this. If you mess with anything that is assuming to the integrity of the game, you're going to get brought down. The hammer is going to be dropped. And
my problem is I guarantee there's more guys doing it.
There is. What's going to happen when it's the star quarterback?
Yep. That's the key. Are we going to
suspend
under the rug?
Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting that when the playoffs hit in 2020, we didn't have anybody canceled for COVID, right? No one missed the high level playoff games for COVID. Interesting how that happened.
Yep.
It's just they're crossing a fine line. I don't think the players want gambling in stadiums. I don't know. It's a little weird to me about that.
The NFL is simply about money.
It's simply about money. But I don't know. You can go to the horse races and bet on a horse right there. It's a little weird. You can go and bet on, the humans. I don't know. It's just a little weird.
That's the new. All these apps. There never used to be an ability to do any of this. Now, then it started with games over under plus minus. Now it's individual players at plus minus. It's every play. Is it going to be a run? Is it going to be a pass? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? There's no limit. You have these apps. And the thing of it is, the NFL is on their programming. They have the commercial. When they go to commercials, it's MGM Grand. It's DraftKings. That it's Yahoo Sports Betting. You listen to commercials now. I'm going to tell you how to beat the books. It's every commercial is how there's 50 different apps that you can have that if you give us 20, we'll match it. If you give us 100, we'll match it. We'll just come on and give us it's
irony. It's irony.
Nothing compared to what they have going on the rest of it now. And the guys just want a part.
Yeah. It's ironic. There's plenty more people doing it. And it's just going to be wondering, what are they going to do? What are they going to do when they find out if it's someone that they can't afford to lose?
Yep.
Well, speaking of sucking, and the the Tigers too, but the Lions. What are the Eagles doing?
Tigers have turned it around a little bit.
The Eagles signed Matt Patricia to a defensive assistant coach. What?
Love it.
That's terrible. Matt Patricia sucks. What are we doing in Philadelphia? You lose your offensive coordinator and you lose your defensive coordinator. That team might not be the same team next year. You bring in Matt Patricia. Oh, and then you made your quarterback the highest paid player in NFL history, which that's questionable.
I love it. Loving all the
That's,
moves.
wow. I'm just questioning it. I'm questioning it all now.
I know.
You could see the Eagles just like they did. They won a Super Bowl, which they didn't win this year, but they won a Super Bowl. They deflated.
Yep.
They made it there this year. Well, you better hope Jalen Hurts either gets better or at least stays at what he was.
Yes.
Because
Which I think that was all a fluke, but we'll see if I'm crazy or not.
We'll see. I want to see him do it one more year.
That's what I would have said before I paid him, before I backed the Brinks truck up.
Yep. All right, Craig. Well, that is the episode tonight. We're going to jump into what's in your locker.
It is busy weekend. I have to work in the morning, and then I have a graduation for my middle son. He went through welding school, and he is graduating from there. And they're going to have a ceremony down in Mansfield, so that'll be kind of cool. And then it's the youngest one. It is prom night, and we get to take him over to prom. He's going to go with his friends, and then he's going to go to the after party at the school. And Sunday morning at 5 in the morning on the day without the alarm, I get to get up at 5 in the morning and go retrieve him from Centennial and then try to come home and lay back down, I guess. But big for the kids. Hope he has a good time. And it'll be interesting to see how this graduation for welding, I've never heard of such a thing, but I guess we're going to do that. Really proud of him for putting his mind to this and making some money. He's got some kids that are turning 3. He's got twins, and they're about to turn 3. And so for him to have solid work that can go anywhere is pretty impressive. So we're gonna go check that out, and that's about it. We're gonna watch hockey on tonight and on Sunday, and hope that the Stars can get a lead here, and that'll be about it.
I forget you're a grandpa.
Yeah.
Grandpa Craig. I'm gonna call you that from now on.
Yeah.
Grandpa Craig. Well, as you can see, I already got the green light going. Let's go Stars. Let's win one tonight. I'm stay up watch most of that game, hopefully, if I don't fall asleep on the couch, which I'll probably end up doing. But I do work tomorrow as well, unfortunately. I got to go in a set truck tomorrow and pick up a can that no one picked up. It's been there, been illegal dumped in. The set truck, or Alyssa went to go pick it up today. It was too heavy for her to get. So I'm like, oh, that's
good
fantastic.
time of that.
So that's going to be fun tomorrow. Other than that, I got a birthday party. I got to take the girls to go swimming to tomorrow about 10. So hopefully I make it in time for that.
Gotta get that in before the rain comes Sunday and it becomes 50 degrees again.
Well, it's indoors, so I can't
there we go.
really cancel that. But other than that, nothing. I mean, I'm going to try and enjoy my weekend. Try is the key word there. Now, hopefully the Stars get a win, set it off right. We, next Saturday, going to the Ranger game. First time going to that stadium. I'm excited. Me, Craig, and our boy Eric are going, and we're going to enjoy that. Have you been to the new stadium yet or no?
Yeah, right when it first opened.
Graduation, right?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
went and saw a game when it first opened. Went and saw the Giants, actually. They came to town last year, and I saw
Hopefully
them with
they
my
lost.
dad. They did not. They hit a grand slam late in the inning and took one.
Terrible.
And then that was great because this guy hit a grand slam, and about 3 days later, we DFA'd him and said, thanks for hitting the grand slam in Texas, but you don't longer play here. So that's how we do things in San Francisco. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It doesn't matter where you sit, up high, down low. You're closer to the action, and I'm interested to see what the pitch clock does in person, and how fast it speeds the game up. They say it really makes the thing move along. So it'll be interesting to see there how that goes.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it as well. And I heard the same thing about the stadium. Is the old stadium? You sit up high, you needed binoculars.
Yeah, no.
But I hear this one, you're right on
this
top
one,
of it.
It's pretty live, and little disappointed in the fireworks action because of the indoor. They couldn't go as big.
They got little sparklers out there.
Yeah,
or what?
basically that's what that is. So it's sparkler on steroids a little bit. So it's a little pop and a fizzle, but hey, you still get the music of the natural, and every time that plays is a good.
Now I don't know if you can see
thing.
this. The light I got, it's a red alarm going off,
I
and
saw you flickering it over there. Like
I hope that
distressed.
Yeah, send help.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
the SOS signal or what that was.
I'm hoping that's the goals for the Stars tonight. So
you got to get you a goal horn.
Well, I don't have one of those yet. Okay, well I do have I have a huge speaker right next to me that I could play it.
Yeah.
But no.
Well, that's why I stayed up the other night, because I got a goal horn on my phone, so I leave it turned up so in case you call me, and tell me, work news or whatever. The goal horn's going off either way, so I might as well just stay up and watch a game.
Oh, I can change this to blink any color. Nice. I got a new ring light because
you need to try that while we're not doing the podcast.
Yeah. It's at the end of it. All right, guys. Well, that's your episode. No, this thing's cool. Anyways, all right, that's the end of the episode, guys. Episode 199, just winging it edition.
Tune in for the big 200.
Big 200. Next Friday, we will cover anything else. We'll cover the NBA playoffs, any more suspensions of the NFL from gambling, anything else that comes through. We will cover it, guys. Follow us on social media. Reach out to us. We didn't have any comments tonight, any chats, but if you want to,
the draft might be before Friday. So
when's the draft?
Isn't it Thursday?
Shoot, I don't know. I've been busy with work, man. It's been hard for me to pay attention to this. Don't you stop it. Well, if so, episode 200 might be a draft edition.
A draft show?
Yeah, I usually do that with Ryan.
Yeah.
Craig might miss the 200 edition.
No, I will not.
We'll do 200 part A and part B.
200 Tuesday. You can do it Tuesday night pre-draft show.
Oh, man. We could do that. If we do that, though, it's going to be a 5-hour episode because Ryan will give you his top 50 list.
I got it all too.
Yeah. See, I might miss the 200 episode.
Thursday, the 27th.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
safety meeting Thursday. Anywho, all right, guys, that's the end of the episode. God bless and remember.
Keep it outspoken.